All right, guys, thank you for coming in. I'm excited to have you and talk to you today about your agency. So let's talk a little bit about yourselves. So if we could do a round of introductions, that would be great. Maybe, Senna, you can start.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Senna. I'm 26 years old from Amsterdam, and I've been working with Oscar for quite a while right now. I think 7 to 8 years.
Yeah, something like that.
7 to 8 years, and currently, I'm also one of the co-founders of Aidem agency, a full-service TikTok agency, and I myself am responsible basically for all the marketing. So you could call myself the head of marketing to give it a title, and I think that basically summarizes it in a short form.
Awesome. So marketing is your niche.
Yeah.
And what exactly is your day-to-day operations look like in terms of marketing?
It depends obviously of the process from the agency itself. As of right now, I'm mostly focused on the performance side of the team, of the agency. So making sure that the results on that side are doing well, that we are making principles and SOPs for the team to build on, make sure that we're also hiring the right people, making sure that we can scale, coming up with new strategies. But there's also been a time where I've been focused mostly on the content side, so the concepting and stuff like that. So
like strategizing the pieces of content.
So it's basically moving from department to department, making sure that everything goes well. And I think that's, for now I'm mostly focused on the performance side of the agency.
All right, awesome. And Oscar, you?
Yeah, my name is Oscar, 27 years. Within the agency, I'm responsible for all the operation side of things. So the strategies that Senna comes up with, I will make sure it is also within budgets and also realistic to basically implement for our clients. Besides that, I also run a couple of our key accounts as a project manager and make sure that those clients stick with us, of course, and together with Senna to make sure the performance is on point.
Awesome. And why did you guys decide to start an agency specifically for TikTok? What was the reasoning behind that?
I think we saw a gap in the market. Yeah. I think we saw TikTok going to a place where not a lot of agencies were paying attention to. It was already pretty big when in the consumer space, but we didn't see a lot of agencies like really tap into that market yet. So once we decided to actually start an agency, we first were a full service agency. So we basically did everything. And as the saying goes, what is it again? If you're a master of all, what is it? I know it in Dutch, but I don't know it in English. I don't know how you translate.
I'm not sure what it is in English as well, but it basically says if you want to be good at something, you need to have focus and you have your niche.
Yes, exactly. And then, we pretty much did a campaign for TikTok with BRA. You can buy like the nose strips in the Kruidvat.
Oh, for the sleeping, okay.
Yeah, no, not for the sleeping. The ones that removes your black head.
Yeah.
Your black heads. Okay. So we did a campaign with them, and that basically blew our minds about TikTok as a platform. And from there on, we decided, okay, let's skip everything else and let's focus just on TikTok.
I see. And how did you guys start to work together? How do you know each other?
That's a long story.
That's a long story. We have time.
So the funny thing is that I started my own like Instagram page in 2015, 16, something like that. And via that project, I met somebody, and it was a good friend of Senna's. And I know the day that I walked in on a meeting with the two of them, and I prepared a presentation for one of the things that they were working on at that time. And basically it clicked immediately. And they asked me like, you did all this work for us. What can we do in return? And at that time I was organizing events like nightlife events in Rotterdam. So I asked Senna, the owner of one of the clubs here in Amsterdam, ask him to give me a date so I can throw a party in Amsterdam as well. And that's basically where it all started.
Favor for a favor. Exactly. And then when did you guys decide to start an actual business together?
Now, that's when I wanted to continue throwing parties in Amsterdam, but my current business partners at that time were not interested anymore. So I asked Senna, why won't we do it together with a mutual friend as well?
And then you started to throw parties together, and that evolved.
Basically from that point on, we wanted to do it differently. In terms of marketing, most event organizers in Amsterdam are really focused on, of course, their lineup and making sure that the best DJs are coming to the nightclub. But we wanted to do it differently, and we came up with YouTube shows to basically promote our events instead of just a regular static flyer. And that's where we rolled into the content marketing space, basically.
And how did that work? If you wanted to throw a party, how did you start promoting in terms of what YouTube shows did you do? Did you just talk about the party, or did you have the DJ coming in? What happened?
No, it was basically not even party related at all, to be honest. It was party related, but the first concept we came up with was basically we invited a couple of, I don't want to say influencers, maybe back at the time they were more micro influencers, and we invited them to a show where they basically had to talk about different statements about the nightlife. For example, if your friend buys a bottle right in the club and you didn't pay for it, can you take a picture with it? Like those type of statements we gave to them, and they had to answer it. And out of that conversation came some funny moments which we shared online, and basically the sponsor or the sponsor of the show was our event.
Okay,
that's
very
how
smart,
we promoted it.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it worked. We never really knew how much people actually saw the show and then came to the parties, but we did very well with our parties. We like to believe that actually did its part in the promotion.
Exactly.
And how did you start Aidem specifically? And when did you start?
I think not even that long ago,
No,
right?
it was like on paper, January 2021. But if you really are asking about the TikTok focus, it was around the summer of 2021 when actually TikTok reached out to us.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's a pretty interesting story, because at that time in the Netherlands, the advertising platform was still
Facebook,
closed.
Google.
It was closed on TikTok.
Oh, okay, I see.
So you could not advertise in the Netherlands yet. But TikTok wanted to like beta test their advertising platform, and they reached out to several big agencies and big brands. And don't ask us why, but we were one of those agencies. And we actually thought, let's do it. Why not?
Let's give it a try. Why not?
Give it a try. And I told a while ago, it blew our minds. The performance,
in terms of
power,
results, like what
it
was the
crazy.
first campaign? What happened?
we set some KPIs, and in the second week of the campaign, we already overperformed those KPIs. And the retailer where we sent traffic to, they actually called the client, we don't have any inventory anymore.
That's crazy. In terms of like KPI, can you explain to the audience
so
who is not?
of course, so the KPI are basically the targets of a campaign, and that's basically an indicator of are we on track to reach our goals. And that can be pretty specific, for example, amount of views. That can be a cost per acquisition, a CPA for a client. It can be a cost per click, a click-through rate. All those marketing metrics can be your KPIs.
So you guys completely demolished the KPIs that you set at first.
Exactly.
And the person that you were running it for ran out of inventory.
Yeah.
They were really happy about that. Huh?
They were very happy. They actually saw a spike not only in traffic, but also in sales and also in brand awareness, because I think we guaranteed them like 3 million views, and we actually hit 10 million. So
that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So that was the beginning of the TikTok focus.
Exactly.
And then from that, like, how did you guys use that as leverage to generate more clients and more? What was the next steps?
It's very interesting because we performed so well with that campaign. We didn't even expect to do it that well. Is that TikTok decided to make a use case out of it. So
I saw that.
On TikTokforbusiness.com, they upload use cases to basically inspire other businesses, small and big, to start on TikTok. Yeah. And they uploaded that. They wanted to make a case study of it. And I think we were the first one in the Netherlands to actually have a case study.
Yeah, the first one in the Netherlands as a brand. But also as an agency. And we are still the first agency that has a success story on TikTok.
That's awesome, guys. I guess you can use it as a really good proof of authority.
And it is even becoming better because it's not the only one. We actually have 2 already online, and there's a 3rd one on its way.
Awesome. Can you tell me a little bit about those? The one that is the other one and the one on the way?
Yeah, so the other one is for another client of us that is called Smile. And they are like toothpaste steps instead of toothpaste. Okay. And that article that campaign that we did was mostly focused on conversion. And the other one that's on its way is for one of the market leaders in photo books. And it's called All Belly. I'm not sure if you heard of it, but basically they deliver a service that you can create with your digital photos. You can create a photo book, and within 5 days it's at your house,
to your doorstep.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
And so how did you guys use this, as I said, like this beginning success to generate more clients? Did you guys have to still work hard to get clients coming in, or did you have a lot of people reaching out to you like, hey, I saw what you did, or how did that
not
go?
even that.
No, we did like it's different sources, right? Like obviously you will get some referral, but you don't want to build your company based on referral, right? So you always need to do your own outreach through email, through LinkedIn.
Yep.
And we're still doing that until this day.
Yeah, I saw that you guys are really active. For example, your LinkedIn and your Instagram I'm following, and I see that you guys are consistently posting. So do you have a lot of leads coming in through those channels?
We have.
I do have to say there are different focuses when it comes down to Oscar's organic strategy and mine. Mine is more focused on TikTok Academy, which is, I think, a different story from the agency. But Oscar's organic strategy on LinkedIn, that generates a lot of leads, which is very good.
And if you want, you can also talk about this TikTok Academy if you want. What is that exactly? Is that a different course, or how does that look like?
Yeah, basically what we teach people is at some point we notice that, okay, we have a certain type of customer profile, right? And it also comes with a certain type of budget that they need to have available in order for us to be able to work on like their projects. But we also saw a huge gap of people who are not basically financial in a situation where they can pay agencies like us. So we wanted to have a course in order to teach people what we do so they can do it for their own businesses. So basically focused on small business owners. And that's what I am currently focusing on a lot, especially with my content.
Great way to build your value ladder, basically.
Yeah.
And how do you, what challenges did you face besides client acquisition in the initial months of transforming your agency from an all-inclusive to TikTok focus?
I don't think quite a lot when it comes down to focusing on all marketing to TikTok.
I think the biggest challenge was convincing business owners about the power of TikTok.
Yeah.
In the beginning, we received a lot of no's. And as an entrepreneur, that can be very disappointing, of course, because you believe in something and you are pretty sure that you can deliver value to them, even if it's a lot of views or even if it's sales. But we hear a lot of excuses. We don't have the people, we don't have the money, we don't have the time, and we don't believe in the platform yet. We think it's about dancing teenagers in their bedrooms, and that's totally a misperception about TikTok right now. So, and
really
even
is, yeah.
till this day, there are still businesses that don't think TikTok can be of any value within their marketing mix, and that's crazy.
And how did you guys try to educate or change their perception?
Being a teacher, basically. Really educate. And that's also why Senna is very active on TikTok and Instagram. That's why I'm very active on LinkedIn, just to show people what TikTok can mean for us, for them. And I think that if we really want to teach them about TikTok, we have the perfect combination, our expertise, so our story, because we did a lot with content, not only TikTok. We created whole YouTube shows in Los Angeles. So that's...
Okay, we can also talk about that.
Yeah, we can also talk about that, but that's another story. And also the results. And that's where the case studies comes in. And that's the perfect combination. If you can build trust with potential new clients, now we experience that for example, this month, we generated over, I think, 20 leads, 20 potential new clients.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. What's your sales process like? For example, if you have a lead coming in, do you get on a discovery call, or how does that look like?
Yeah, so first of all, everybody gets qualified, because as Senna mentioned, we want to know what are their intentions. Are they just seeking information and then thank us and go with our ideas and strategies and do it themselves? So what are intentions and what are their budgets? And what do they want to reach even? Because most of the times people say, we want to go viral. And then we come up with an organic strategy, and then we get a call like, why don't we have any sales? Yeah. And going viral doesn't mean that you generate sales.
Yeah, conversion and brand awareness
is different strategy. And from that qualification, we basically hop over to an introduction call, and then we qualify even more. And every time we really want to have the feeling like we can deliver, we can help you. And if we don't have that feeling and your KPIs are too ambitious or whatsoever, we are honest with you, because otherwise it's just not working out.
Then you have an expectation and you can deliver on
exactly.
It.
So we are always bloody honest with our potential new clients. And from then on, if there is a fit, then we have a briefing template. And that briefing template is just to make sure that everybody's on the same page. We both fill it in. And if that's confirmed, we basically craft a proposal, and in that proposal we combine everything with what are we going to do, how are we going to do it, what is the timeline, what is the investment, what are the expected results, etc., etc., etc. And we pitch it to them, and then they give a green light or not,
Gotcha.
And if they give the green light,
Then it's
we
good to
go into the onboarding phase.
And in terms of team, I see that it's a really a growing agency, right? So how many members do you have, and what kind of cultures and what challenges did you have maybe with building the team up to that level that you guys are on right now?
Yeah, funny because I saw you post something, I think it was yesterday or the day before, where you post something about a team, and I think you said 17 or 18, I'm not sure. But if I look into Slack, like our overall channel, I saw 19. I don't even know how many people we have.
Yeah, that's I forgot somebody who was just new on the team.
How many? 18 or 19?
Now with 18.
18, yeah, okay, 18. But we do have to say not all of those people are full-timers. Do have some people who are like full-time working for the agency, but we also have some people on freelance, but basically are working full-time because we send them so much work that they are not even
They
able
have to commit
Yeah.
full time.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
And that's also our bootstrapped, because we're fully bootstrapped. We don't have any investment, any loans. We're financially healthy just with our own
Sweat.
interests.
Sweat and tears.
Yeah, exactly. And that's also one of the strategies I would recommend to every starting entrepreneur is first work with freelancers. And if you have the right fit with that freelancer and they are very committed to your company as well, then you can give them a full-time or part-time contract.
Okay, so basically that's the screening that you guys put somebody
Exactly.
through.
Exactly, yeah.
Give them a freelance contract, and if they perform, then they can come.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We like it from both sides, obviously.
Of course, I see. So, were there any challenging moments in terms of the team? Did maybe you guys gave someone a job, a task, and they couldn't perform? How do you handle that? What kind of leadership do you guys do?
I think all the time, right? I think
Yeah.
we, especially as owners, I think at some point you realize that when you are the owner, you always are willing to go the extra mile, right? And as a freelancer or as an employee, we cannot always expect that from people. So we're always, I think, encouraging our people to go the extra mile, always looking at the future and always also explaining to them that we actually want to grow as a family and as a team. And we are not the agency, and we do not have the culture of, okay, yeah, we want you to work here for 6 months, and if we are happy and just go, we'll hire somebody else. We always want to make sure that people feel involved with the growth of the agency and that they also get the feeling that they will benefit from that as well. So that's always something about the mindset that I feel we try to give to our people. But yeah, obviously we have also had some people who just didn't fit the team.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So it's like long-term thinking.
Yeah.
Trying
very.
to give them this vision that you will both benefit from.
Yeah.
Of
mutual
course,
collaboration.
you have to as a bootstrapped agency. It's not like we have a huge building within Amsterdam with the Google technology and that people actually want to work there for the working environment. That's not something that we can offer yet. So we need to make sure that we have other things in place that basically motivates people to want to keep working with us.
That was about to be my next question of like, how do you deal with motivation and what kind of things that you have in place that you were mentioning to keep them motivated?
I think Oscar is...
I think one of the biggest answers on that question is accountability and giving a sense of ownership. Because of course you can go to your job and just do your job, and at 5 p.m., even if you did not finish the job, you go to home. And we have a culture that we are encouraging accountability and ownership, that you have your clear responsibilities where you take your own accountability for, and that gives you a sense of ownership. And that also motivates you to get the job done. And that's very what we encourage. And if you get the job done, and if we grow as an agency, you grow with us. And then the financial aspect comes in place.
And the flexibility, I believe, is also something that we encourage a lot. Like, people don't have to be in the office. Like, they can come to the office. We also have a policy where not even all people that we work with are in the Netherlands. We have people in India, we have people in Indonesia. Oscar has been for a huge while in Spain. So everybody can work from where they want. They don't have to be at the office. The only thing that we expect is, how Oscar always says, get your shit done. And it doesn't matter if you do it in 2 hours and you are done early, good. We don't expect you to do extra work if that's not required and you've done all your shit. So I think that's...
you don't expect people to be on the job and punch the clock until the 5 p.m. roll. Just finish your thing and then...
Yeah, exactly. They can live their lives how they want to live their lives. They can do their work wherever they want to do their work, as long as we get good results. That's I think, and have good communication. I think results and communication are the most important things, and everything around that, we are just very flexible. And I think a lot of people like that working style a lot.
And how do you make sure that everybody knows clearly what their responsibilities are and what their job entails, what their projects entail? What do they have to finish before they can?
I think it depends, right?
Yeah,
on the department.
Yeah, it depends on the department, and it is a combination of clear expectations at the beginning, but also a clear onboarding process in place of coming in as a new employee or a new freelancer, and really have a clear understanding of how does our business work, how do our internal processes work. And
can you share a little bit about that, the internal processes? Like, how do you communicate with the team? What platforms do you use? What are some of the tools that you use for productivity? And
Slack is the go-to.
Okay.
Slack is our we have
WhatsApp.
it's our WhatsApp, and we have all kinds of different channels per project where we talk about the related stuff for those projects. But we also have like automatizations in order. So for example, Slack is integrated with Monday. So if you have a deadline coming up in Monday, because Monday is our project management tool, you will receive a notification in Slack as a reminder, for example. And those little things.
Those are so helpful, these notifications. When you put it in your phone, then you remember. But if you don't, you will just forget it.
Correct.
And in terms of clients and client acquisition, so now how many clients do you guys service?
Right now we are running 15 campaigns. And I think it's around the 13, 12 clients. I'm not really sure about the top of my head.
Is it all the ads, or do you also implement organic and user-generated?
Both. So it's a combination of both. Yeah, some clients do their ads on their own. Some clients do their content on their own. And for some clients, we do everything.
Okay,
so
I see.
It's a combination. It depends on the client.
What the client wants.
Yeah.
And what kind of organic strategies do you guys employ in terms of how to grow a channel?
Yeah, I think it also always comes down to the basic stuff, right? And that is very simple. And that is you need to make sure that you provide value to your audience, because that arouses engagement, and engagement makes sure that the algorithm starts pushing your videos. And then you have the things like, okay, you need to make sure you get the attention in the first couple of seconds. You need to make sure that you keep the attention throughout the video by providing good value, have a good edit, and then having a clear call to action in order to make sure you arouse either more engagement or get them to a landing page or stuff like that. It's very basic, and it's actually very simple. I think Johan Cruyff has a saying where he says, "All is very simple, but all simple is the hardest thing there is." And I think that's basically the same thing when it comes down to creating content, right? It's very simple, but you need to get the basics down in order to really get results.
Awesome. I love the simplicity of it, and I agree with that. Like, it's just 3 steps, like the hook, value, call to action.
Exactly.
That's it. Yeah. No need to overcomplicate.
Yeah.
And can you tell me an example of a current client that you guys are working on, and share a little bit of the strategy that you guys are using in order to service that client in terms of like organic growth? So it's not focused on advertisement, but more of like organic content. How do you make that content? Do you work with influencers, or what's the process like? If it's available for you to discuss these inner things in terms of strategy and stuff.
I think bottom line, it comes down, and I'm also looking up to my side to Oscar because he's handling most of those campaigns right now. I think, we're always working with faces of the brand, because most of the brands that we work with don't really have a face. We're working more with the bigger international brands and not with the small business owners who also like to be their face of the brand sometimes. We don't have that luxury with the clients that we work with, so we always need to work with creators who fit the brand and who can also execute well on the concepts that we come up with. And sometimes we have our own conceptors in-house, so they come up with the concepts, we propose them to the clients, we propose them the faces of the brand that could execute on those concepts, and then we just start rolling and executing it and posting it on the channels.
I see. So you work with already established creators, micro-influencers?
Yeah. Not always. Like, sometimes we don't want to work with like big influencers because they also have different higher pricing, different expectations. Sometimes they're also harder to work with because they think they're the next Beyonce. So sometimes it's hard. So we're always trying to work with people who have shown us that they understand the platform and understand how to create content on the platform. And as long as, in our opinion, they get that, then we think they're suitable for the brand to be able to work with.
I see. And in terms of influencer marketing, I see that you guys are doing also a couple of campaigns where you basically send the concept to an influencer and they publish it on their own channel with the collaboration of the company that you guys are servicing.
Yep.
So how does that work? How do you find the right influencer? What is the communication with the influencer? And
that's an interesting story, because we have an internal like strategy behind that, because what Sana was talking about is more than the creator marketing side. But if one of those creators stick up and really are performing well for our clients, but also performing well on their own channel, then we say to them, hey, join our management, let us do the sales for you, and come into our creator database. We have we created an own database where all of our content creators are in. And we have basically different levels. So you have a normal content creator, but if you are performing good, you can go to level 2, for example, and then will also be your management. And that's basically where also a new revenue stream comes in for us as an agency, where
you're servicing, you're connecting the influencer.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's where those campaigns come from. And how the communication goes is we are very informal with our creators or influencers. We normally always say creators. But it's just via WhatsApp, via email, where we assign them the briefings. And with our clients or the clients that they get, they have a specific Aidem mail, and we receive those jobs, offerings from brands.
Okay, and if you don't mind me asking, we are also launching with the Campusradio a Content Creator Academy, because I want to help the students, the beginners, to grow their own platforms, because I also have some value to share on this from growing my own channel to 90K. So it's going to be a very direct question. Like, usually how much an influencer can expect to earn from a collaboration, if it's like just 3 videos or 6 videos, like something like that. And of course it depends on how much followers they have and what kind of quality they deliver, but just a general broad idea could you give me to motivate some students to start creating content?
It depends, but if I give a range, it will be between the 500 and 1500 per video.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. And this, in terms of how many followers do they need to have for that? Or
let's say our lowest creator has, where we do also influencer management for, has I think 30K followers.
Okay, so even micro influencers can
get deals like this. Yeah, as long as you can create good content, and and that's the thing. TikTok is not really about your followers, because the algorithm
is new.
Exactly. Yeah. So it all depends. Do you have sustainable growth, and what is your engagement? Engagement metric.
Yeah. And how do you? Okay, so these are the 2 metrics that you select an influencer on, basically.
And the basic stuff as well.
Yeah, niche is also something that's also very important. For example, my account, I have 2 accounts, right? One is more focused on the marketing side of TikTok. Then I have one that is basically focused on funny relationship content. That's the account that I started off with. And I also think it depends a lot on the niche that you're in, because the more competition there is in your niche, the more opportunities brands have to reach out to multiple people within your niche. And basically then you have supply and demand. You have supply and demand, right? The more people there can be found within your niche, obviously the lower the price will get for people, even if you have a high following. But if you're, for example, the only viral chiropractor, and there's a company especially looking for chiropractors in the Netherlands, for example, then all of a sudden your value can go ×2.
Because nobody can do what you do.
Exactly. So it depends also a lot of supply and demand. So I think for everybody I get the question a lot from people in my DM, like, how much can I charge? And I'm like, bro, I don't know. You have to figure out for yourself. Yeah.
And you were talking about how you have your own personal account with your girlfriend that you are doing, and also your personal Instagram account. So you are doing a lot. You have a lot on your plate. Also the agency, of course, personal stuff. So how do you balance all this? What kind of systems do you have in place for making sure that everything stays on track and you're also sane?
Yeah, we talk about it a lot, like that we need to try to keep our sanity in place. But when it comes down to the content creation, I always try to make sure that in weekends I shoot my content. So on Sunday, I normally have a production day with my girlfriend. We shoot the content. Maybe it takes a couple of hours, 2 to 3 hours to create. On Saturday, I normally do the content creation for my own accounts, just for the marketing and agency and TikTok related stuff. And then I try to prepare my weekend production day on either Thursday or Friday.
I see. So making sure that each day is appropriately aligned with one of those.
So I can focus on
batching content.
Exactly. Like I'm really batching the content up, and also trying to make sure to edit as much as possible, so I don't have to think about that during the week, because from Monday until Friday there's so much work to be done with the agency that I cannot tolerate to also need to keep an hour off in order to edit my video that needs to go live that evening. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes it's just like it gets too busy and I'm not able to edit things right away, but I always try to edit as much in the weekends. So basically that means I don't have weekends. And that I can post like during the week.
Yeah, so it's just ready to go and you can just publish. And
I only have to look at it one more time, make sure that like TikTok in the edit didn't do something strange, and then I look it, and then I
definitely have to follow you up on that, because sometimes I edit my videos on the ferry just publish there. Wherever you can.
But sometimes I do that as well. Like sometimes there's no I rather post consistently, and then maybe one post I could have done better with the edit, but I'm
Definitely
just
agree
like,
with
okay,
you, yeah.
just post it, because sometimes one of those videos also goes massively viral.
Yeah, sometimes even the lowest effort videos just reach a huge audience.
Yeah.
Crazy. And Oscar, about you, how do you deal in terms of like productivity and stress management? And
Yeah, I think it's a combination of a lot of things. It all starts with the basic, as everything starts, like sleep good, eat well, and exercise. So yeah,
All the basic he mentioned, those are all the things that I do not do. Yeah, he does them very well though.
yeah. You just said you went to the gym. Yeah, I go to the gym every day as well. It's like a stress reliever.
yeah, it's so good.
It's so good, and
I'm with you on
especially
that.
I do have to say, especially in the mornings. And I think that's also a hack that I found out like a while ago. If I wake up at 5, 6 a.m., I do my deep work, and I then go to the gym. That's the perfect start of the day. And then from that point on, it's just all busy work, meetings, keeping up with deadlines, having the team on point. That's the rest of the day, and that's hectic. And yeah, most of the days you also continue in the evenings to do your own last couple of to-dos. But I think, yeah, if you have a good calendar, and I know a lot of people are still working with like maybe just the paper calendars or
Notes within your phone.
notebooks or notes in your phone,
Old
but
fashioned.
really systemize those things. Because if you have just a brain dump that goes into your to-do list setup, that goes into your agenda, which is digital, then it's already a head start of the rest, and you
That's for
you
sure,
can
for sure.
you can get shit done then.
Yeah, I understand. And you also say that you are very busy with all kinds of things, and you also create a lot of content on your LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So how do you implement that in your day-to-day? Do you also batch, or do you just, whenever you have a thought, you just write the content?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Yeah, so I've also systemized that. So I have a brain dump for my LinkedIn content, and then from that brain dump, I basically write out everything during the weeks when I have time. So that can be either in the morning as part of my deep work, because most of the things deep work are your most important task. And LinkedIn is very important for us because it's like a continuous stream of potential leads.
Yeah.
So that's part of my give values to my task. I told Senna last, I have tasks that are worth 10K and I have tasks that worth $10. So LinkedIn is 10K.
Yeah,
And
especially in the long run.
exactly.
It
That
grows and then
compounded
compounds
effect.
Exactly.
That's where we want to go. And that's now paying off a lot. So I need to continue and I need to find my best practices. But another thing is, and that's where the luxury comes in when you are with a team, that I got, for example, if you message me on LinkedIn, and this is a very secret stuff, but
Don't tell.
It's not you who see it, huh?
it's not me. So we got somebody on that as an appointment setter, but we also got a content creator behind the scenes that is editing my videos. So I only have to write and shoot the content, and somebody else edits.
And then publishes it also, or?
No, that's what I do
Okay, you
as well.
publish it.
And
Do you automatize that, by the way, with a software like Loomly or something?
You mean the automated posting?
Yeah.
I don't believe in that,
No.
because I really feel that it hurts your organic growth if you do those things. Because
Okay.
the platform notices that you are basically using a third-party tool to upload your content.
Oh,
And especially in a space where authentic content becomes more and more important for people, it feels also for the platform a lot more not authentic if you use a third party instead of you are being the one that posts it on the channel.
Gotcha.
And to be honest, like, it's not that I have the hard evidence of, hey, I posted this video without a third party and this video with a third party tool, so I don't have something to compare with. So I cannot back it up with facts, but it makes a lot of sense when you think about it.
Gotcha. You just feel that it's demoralizing the algorithm,
Yeah.
sense it. Okay, I see. Do you guys have any favorite books in terms of that really contributed to your personal growth, or?
100%.
Holy shit. Yes, and go on.
Mine, and I'm currently reading it again. I read it the first time, I think 4 or 5 years ago, and I think it opened my eyes a lot. Principles from Ray Dalio. Great book. Best book ever, in my opinion.
What kind of key takeaways can you with us?
If you look up who Ray Dalio is, he built one of the largest hedge funds.
Yeah.
And just the way he approaches basically decision-making processes, the way he does that, for me was eye-opening. But especially in a space where we're in, when you're working with a team and make sure that if you're managing a team, that people make the right decisions, we need to have some sort of a decision-making process in order to make sure that we reach our goals. And the way he approaches those things, and also the way his mindset works by looking at yourself, how different people behave differently, but because their brains are wired different, that just opened up my eyes in, one, how to deal with people, but second, also to make sure to build systemized.
How to build your business, basically.
Yeah, how to build your businesses in a way that things are going well with SOPs, principles, and stuff like that.
I see. It's crazy to me that some people are not reading, because like you can get somebody's thought and knowledge in a condensed form who's been doing something for 20, 30, 40 years, and they are extremely proficient at doing that thing, and you can just dissect their knowledge and instantly like level up, basically, because you get the knowledge from this person who built one of the largest hedge funds in the US. So of course he has something to teach on business.
Exactly.
And what about you, Oscar? Do you have
any? Actually, it sounds stupid, but this is the book where we basically built all the basics in our company on. So it's also my also my favorite.
You should read that.
Yeah, you should, because that's also where the accountability comes from and the ownership. And also one other thing that is very interesting from that book is radical transparency. And also know how to give and how to receive feedback, because that's
very important.
That's a
very defense, but also don't just push it on someone and hey, you did bad. But and what is radical transparency? That's also from Ray the principles, right?
Correct.
Can you explain that a little bit?
So it's basically like everything you say behind someone's back, you also need to say it in their face. And that's basically radical transparency.
Being honest.
Right. So many of us avoid these hard conversations and we gossip behind the back of other people, and that doesn't really help them. Like, for example, if a friend of you you can notice he's slacking a little bit and he's putting on some weight, it's better to just tell him in front, like, hey, bro, what's up? What's going on? Maybe. How are you doing? Instead of going behind their back, because then the other person doesn't benefit from you. And some people also like can't really take this like truths sometimes. So you might hurt some feelings, but I also agree that it's better to be radically honest with people.
And that's I think that's also the key of good communication, and that not only helps yourself but also helps the other person.
Exactly.
And you can grow together, and that creates the win-win situation.
Yeah, provided the other person can take the feedback and use it and develop themselves through it.
Correct.
So that's also your favorite book? Or
and I also got another one that's about the Netflix story. I'm not sure if you heard about that. That's like it's written by one of the co-founders of Netflix, and they basically talk about how they built their company culture. And that's also very interesting, because if you combine principles of Ray Dalio and that book about Netflix, then you have the best possible combination.
Company culture.
Yeah. And if you then combine one more book, which I think you would also vouch for, is 100 Million Offers from Alex Hormozi.
Oh, that's an amazing book. Yeah, hands down to Hormozi. Holy shit.
Oh, man.
He's
eye-opening. Combine Ray Dalio and the Netflix story in terms of company culture and building like your processes, and then combine it with the knowledge of Alex Hormozi on how to build an offer. You're unstoppable.
Gotcha. Okay, I will read the Netflix story and the Ray Dalio. That sounds really cool.
100%.
Do you guys have any personal goals at the moment, or goals in terms of the agency that you want to make it happen in 2023 maybe, or something like that? I don't believe in New Year's resolutions, but any goals?
I'm still drinking beer.
No, I think we have I think, when was it? A couple months ago?
In mid-December.
Yeah, mid-December we went to Antwerp with one of our, with the other co-founder Marwan, with our partner, and basically there we wrote down the goal for the agency for the next couple of years, for the next 3 years.
Okay, like a vision plan.
Yeah, basically we were, the first 1.5 year was basically about surviving, making sure that we could eat.
Yeah, stay afloat.
Yeah, stay afloat. Exactly. So you're more focused. You're so much in the work that you forget to basically zoom out and see the bigger picture. So we did that, and we made a plan for the upcoming 3 years.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I guess I will. I won't ask you about that. It's better not to tell too much on the goals. Is there anything you want to share before we wrap up?
Yeah, it depends who's listening.
If your target audience, a brand owner that wants to work with you, what will you share?
That wants to work with us, or that wants to work on TikTok?
Thinking of working with TikTok, yeah.
Let's say if that person wants to start on TikTok, then I would first always advise them to look up on TikTok what other people in their niche are doing. Yeah. If other people are successful in what they want to do, and it doesn't necessarily have to be the exact same thing, right? But at least has to have some of the crossover. Look if other people are successful, because if they are, you can be as well. And it's not that hard. What I get, a lot of people are like, yeah, do I need to go on TikTok? And I'm like, just look up. If you want to know if you can be successful and you should be on TikTok, look if other people are already doing it successfully, because then you know there's also an audience for you to basically attract.
Yeah, there's a market for what you do.
There's a market, yeah.
And what about for creators? What would you tell them? Or people who are beginning on their journey, what would you share share with them from your experience of growing your channels and all the other channels that you're working with?
From my experience, it basically the most important thing is creating content from the perspective of your audience and not from your own ego of what you want to show and tell people. Because what you will notice is 80 to 90% of the people don't care about what you want to tell. And if you're placing yourself in the shoes of the audience and you're giving value from their like perspective, that's when you will actually see traction in order to actually also stay consistent, obviously, because people get very dismotivated or not motivated when they see that the results are not good. That happens a lot when you are placing content or posting content from your own ego. So then people automatically quit. If you reverse
you
that,
have to find that balance.
Exactly.
What you want to post and what the market wants.
Yeah, like obviously you need to stay your own brand, right? So you need to stand behind the things that you're saying, and you also need to get the feeling that you have a creative output that you have, but always make value for other people and not for yourself.
Gotcha. People find you if they want to connect and ask questions or work with you guys.
LinkedIn. But you won't be talking to me. No, just follow me on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
that's where I'm active.
Oscar Moy.
Oscar Moy.
All right.
Yeah,
and you?
For me, it's I think mostly on Instagram or on TikTok. Hassan Marcel, that's my account. That's focused on. I will
include these in the show notes so people can reach out to you guys.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you once again for coming in.
No worries.
No worries.
All right.
Thank
Cheers.
Later.
Later.